The shiur is being sponsored by Nishmas in memory of Rochalea Bas of Chaim Tzvi. The Yom Tov of Shavuot, of course, is identified as Zman Matan Torah Seinu. That's how we refer to Shavuot in the davening, as well as in the Kiddush, the time of the giving of the Torah. We know that the Chumash never specifically or directly identifies the Yom Tov of Shavuot with this event. In fact, the Torah never tells us exactly, specifically what date it was when the Torah was given, when Mamad Har Sinai, the revelation of Mount Sinai, took place. We know it was in the month of Sivan, that it does say, B'chodesh HaShlishi, it was the third month, starting from Nisan Iyar Sivan, and the Gemara figures out, based on the Psukim, what day it turned out to be, but it never mentions the exact date, nor does it ever tell us that that's the reason we have Shavuos. Nonetheless, we associate Shavuos with the idea of Matan Torah, it's the Yom Tov of Matan Torah, and therefore, what I'd like to look at in this shiur, in advance of Shavuos, is something relating to the Mitzvah of Talmud Torah. Many of us are familiar with the famous statement that the Mishnah makes in the beginning of Maseches Peah. Maybe we don't realize that it comes from Maseches Peah, but it's a passage from the Mishnah that we recite daily as part of Birchas HaTorah. You know, in the morning after we say Birchas HaTorah, we actually learn something. A few psukim from the Torah quoted, something from Mishnah, something from the Gemara, just to have a miniature fulfillment, so to speak, of the Mitzvah of Talmud Torah at that point. And the Mishnah that we happen to quote is the first Mishnah in Maseches Peah, which says, Elu dvarim she'ein lahen shiur. These are things which have no fixed shiur, no fixed measurement, no prescribed amount, or there's no required designated measure for these particular mitzvahs, and they are HaPeah, the mitzvah of Peah, that's why it's here in the Mishnah of Peah, Bikurim, Rayon, Ugemilas Chasadim, and the next thing mentioned is V'Salmud Torah. Mishnah therefore tells us that Talmud Torah is one of the Dvarim She'ein Lahem Shiur. It's an activity for which no precise or fixed measure has been established. In other words, relating whether to quantity, relating to frequency, relating to time. That's what we mean when we speak about a shiur. Usually a shiur relates to one of those areas. It relates to an amount in terms of quantity, relates to frequency, when one has to do it, it relates to time, a specific moment one has to do it. None of that appears with a connection to Talmud Torah. And the question we need to understand is, what does this mean? What do you mean, Ein Lahem Shiur? There's no shiur for Talmud Torah. There's no prescribed measure for Talmud Torah. What exactly does that mean? Certainly, what does it mean in terms of our practical observance of this very important mitzvah? So the Rabbi Bar Tanura, in his commentary on this Mishnah, here in Maseches Peah, says, V'Salmud Torah, Ein lo shir, d'chsiv hagisa bo yomam v'layla. He refers to a pasuk in the beginning of Sefer Yehoshua, which we actually paraphrase in Ma'ariv. The bracha that we say before Kriya Shmat Ma'ariv says, Kihem chaynu v'erachamenu, u'vahem nehege yomam v'layla. We will ponder, we will consider, we will think, we will meditate about these matters, about Torah, yomam v'layla. That's actually a pasuk in Yehoshua. It says, "V'hagisa bo yomam v'layla." Torah is something which occupies or should occupy one's attention day and night. Day and night. V'hagisa bo yomam v'layla. And therefore, by citing this pasuk in connection with the statement in the Mishnah, it would appear that Rabbi Bar Tanura, again a classic commentary on the Mishnah, understands that there is no maximum, there is no upper limit when it comes to Torah. And when it comes to learning Torah, the mitzvah of Talmud Torah is ongoing, it's boundless, it has no legislated shiur, and therefore a person should make every effort to learn Torah at all time, at any time he possibly can. Every moment a person should be involved in Talmud Torah. There's no maximum limit. A person can never say, now I've done enough, I've learned enough. No, a person should be involved in Talmud Torah all the time. V'hagisa bo yomam v'layla. In other words, a person should make every effort to learn all the time. There's no upper limit. It's a boundless, limitless mitzvah. That's how the Bar Tanura understands. However, a different commentary in the Mishnah there in Maseches Peah understands a little bit differently. The parish is called the Mishnah Rishona. It's printed on the page in many standard editions, the so-called Yachin Boaz edition of the Mishnah. So on the bottom of the page, the Mishnah Rishona quotes what Rabbi Bar Tanura says, and he says, Mashma l'chor, the Talmud Torah ein lo shiur l'malo. When it says in the Mishnah, Eilu Dvarim she'en lahem shiur, and it mentions Talmud Torah as having no fixed measure. It means there's no upper measure, there's no upper limit. It's boundless, it's endless. The chiyuv of Talmud Torah is all day, all night, all the time, or we might call it today 24/7, right? There's always a mitzvah of Talmud Torah, there's no upper limit. That's how the Bartanur understands. However, the Mishnah Rishona begs to differ. He says, again, it appears, mashma l'chor, the Talmud Torah ein lo shiur lamala, shechiyuv hu la'asok yom v'layla, a person involved day and night. However, he says, in kain lo dami l'chol hanid ein lo shiur. However, if that's the case, Talmud Torah doesn't fit in this Mishnah. It doesn't seem to match with the other things listed in the Mishnah. Payah. It's a Mishnah in Payah. Payah is, you have to give Payah from everything? Is there a requirement that Payah is actually an amount that a person has to leave over from the corner of his field for the poor? We don't say a person, you're not supposed to give your entire field away. So the Mishnah Rishona complains that according to Rabbi Avadia Bartanur's statement, it would seem that Talmud Torah doesn't really belong on this list. And therefore, the Mishnah Rishona says differently. He believes the Talmud doesn't mean that there's a chiyuv in Talmud Torah. You never allowed to stop learning it, to learn all the time. No. It means el l'kviyah zman bayom v'layla.